All right, I'm going to let you guys take it away, and I'll be back in a minute.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, and keep your questions and comments coming like before so that I can feed them to the panelists. So warm welcome to Tracy-Ann Palmer and Sanjay Jindal from VMware to this session and to the ecosystem cloud community here. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, Amit.
Yeah, thanks, Amit. It's great to be here.
First, quick introductions. Tracy-Ann Palmer is VP for Distribution Partner Programs and Partner Experience at VMware. She leads the distribution channel incentives and investments and global programs, compliance and experience there. Massive experience, not only at VMware, but across the industry. And if you connect with her on LinkedIn, definitely ask her how she has mentored and developed leaders across various initiatives. I personally find the initiative around We Build Character really, really interesting, Tracy-Ann. So thank you for your leadership in the industry.
Thank you.
And Sanjay Jindal, what can I say? I haven't met somebody more passionate about customer and partner experience than Sanjay. So he's led end-to-end programs in the sales and channel incentives and the industry, and driving this whole integrated behavior towards customer and partner outcomes. So warm welcome, Sanjay.
Thank you so much, Amit. Very nice of you. Thank you.
So Tracy, and for starting with you, can we describe your role a little bit more? And in your words, what is top of mind for you today to achieve at VMware?
Yeah, thanks, Amit. Appreciate it. So in my role, well, first of all, let me just kind of give you a little bit of an understanding. We actually made this reorg in August of last year. And that's important because that's part of the transformation that we've been going through. So in August, we incorporated the program organization, the investment organization with compliance, with partner experience, and also our practice development organization under one umbrella. And then just recently, just over the last month and a half, we've brought in our distribution org as well. And really what we are is we are the sort of holistic avenue or vehicle by which we work with all of our partners, right? So if you think about the partner ecosystem, we are responsible for how we engage with partners, how we drive value through our partners from a customer perspective, and then also their profitability and their capability within our ecosystem and how they deliver customer success.
Awesome. We'll dive a lot more into those details in a second. But Sanjay, on to you. Describe your role and what is top of mind for you to achieve at VMware today.
Absolutely. Thank you. I think just a quick one. So as Amit, you mentioned, so I manage for VMware partner incentives and investments. So our goal is to, we have 5 different franchises in VMware. So our goal is to work with our partners to really drive the practice around those franchise. And to drive that practice, we want to make sure that we are incentivizing the right way. So it's very profitable for them, just like what Tracy-Ann talks about. The experience is really good, and it's a win-win for both sides. So that's really what we do on a daily basis.
Thank you. Welcome, welcome. Let me begin this with you, Tracy-Ann. We heard a little bit from SAP and Cognizant about the transformation to cloud. And you guys have had a front seat to that transformation, if you will. So talk a little bit about that journey at VMware and what it has meant for VMware strategy overall.
Yeah, so I think a couple of things. It really starts with the customers. And I was listening pretty intently at Mark and them because a lot of the ideas and the thoughts that they were presenting really resonated with me. I mean, our customers are on a journey. Accenture has said that 76% of CEOs are saying that their business models will be completely unrecognizable in 5 years, right? All of our partners are going down this multi-cloud, hybrid cloud journey, and in many cases are going, cloud native, right? From our point of view, the most important thing is how we are then shifting our internal business models to transform with our customers. And our partners play a critical, pivotal role in that. We will never be able to scale to accelerate in a SaaS subscription business without our partners, right? So the journey we've been going on, we started a year ago. In February 29th, we launched our Partner Connect program. We've now continued to evolve that. I still believe we're at the early stages of this journey. There's still a lot more that we've got to do. But just recently, and Sanjay is going to talk a lot more about this, is we've now evolved, moving to a customer lifecycle value motion, building in those business models with our partners around sell through, orchestrate with, and build with. And what does that look like from a customer lifecycle perspective? And then putting that, all together around our franchise platforms. So we're undergoing an amazing journey right now with that. We've also got a major initiative around partner experience and what is that going to look like for the future, and how does that align to our new way of working with our customers and our partners? And then also, what does capability look like, right? How do we ensure that our partners are successful, that they are driving customer success and adoption with our customers? So we've really, looking from the outside in and said, customer first, partner at the center of every single thing we do, partner first culture, internally, intrinsically, and then how do we build all those operating models around that?
Nice. And Mike had rightly put this in his session, where it's about, you put your ecosystem strategy, now you put an ecosystem operating model around it, and then the partner experience, orchestration around it. Fascinating. Sanjay, asking you a little bit more detail around this partner transformation. What does that look like really? So this cloud transformation is massive, but there are a lot of elements within this partner transformation. Give us some insight from your perspective.
Totally. Thank you, Amit. Again, so as Tracy-Ann talked about, we are really trying to build the ecosystem of partners, and how do we do this transformation to the cloud faster? So that's really what's going on underneath here, right? And as Tracy-Ann talked about, the partner experience, partner first, is really, really critical for us. What we're trying to do now is that we're looking at across the whole life cycle, the customer life cycle, and we want to make sure that the partner is engaged across the whole life cycle. That's something we did not do in the past. In the past, we looked at the partner by partner type. If you're a solution provider, you're an MSP, you are a global partner, we paid incentives or investments were based on partner type. In the future, what we are trying to do, the transformation, is that more around the outcomes. You could be a partner who could be doing multiple things for us. So depending on what you're doing and how you're engaging across the life cycles, you could be doing advisory, you could be doing assessment, POCs, you could be doing consumption, expansion. We want to reward you accordingly what you're trying to do instead of who you are, right? So that's how we are looking at is, again, customer lifecycle, mapping the partner lifecycle on top of it, and then incentivizing them on each outcome. And we want to make sure that every single partner that we work with, they stay engaged with customer end to end.
Yeah, there's a lot there. So if you think, if I can summarize, it's not just the customer lifecycle, it's actually embedding the partner along in that customer journey.
Correct.
And then shifting, we've always been worried about this blurring of partner lines, right? Can you talk a little bit about, how partner roles are shifting and some of these lines are getting blurred in your opinion? And then as a result, what impact and change you are seeing in your ecosystem?
Amit, I'll jump in here just real quickly on that one, just to share. So, this is something that for everyone that's on the call, I know is probably thinking this is top of mind because it's very real right now, right? I mean, we're seeing, cloud providers that are MSPs, right? We're seeing MSPs that are, professional services. I mean, it's all just blurring, which is why what Sanjay said was really critical. We can't look at this as a partner type.
Yeah.
This has got to be about the value motion that is delivered through the customer lifecycle. And the reality is there is a place for every single partner within the ecosystem, right, to deliver on that customer success. And support the partner along their digital journey. And that means your hyperscaler, that means your ISV, it means your professional services partner, it's your MSP, right? Your technology alliance partners, right? Your influencers, right? Which is, some of the reason that we're talking to WorkSpan, just because we've got to make sure that along that life cycle, there is that complete engagement as you think about all the different types of partners that are actually helping our customers deliver on their digital transformation journey.
Yeah. So it's not just merely about deal registration and incentivizing that, right? So Sanjay, can you double click a little bit on this? It's a lot is shifting at the opportunity at the deal level. It begins way too early and it continues even after the deal gets done. So give us a sense of what incentive and investment transformation you're doing and some new kinds of incentives you're pioneering in the market.
Well, totally. I feel like I'm like a John Madden doing the color commentary here, so I love that. But I'm not. I don't make as much money as John Madden makes it. So that's just a dry joke here. But look, I think Tracy-Ann is spot on. What we did is that in the past, we looked at a partner and we built some really good practices around partners, just around transaction. Mm-hmm. That's what we really love them and we really cared about them, but everything started and stopped around transaction. As some other folks have talked about, and as we're talking about this customer lifecycle, we want to have partners who can do end-to-end, right? The cross lifecycle. What the double click that I would do is that, so we are seeing the deals that there's no one partner who do everything end-to-end, right? It's just a lot of work. It's a lot of investment. Some partners are trying to get there, but the whole ecosystem is you have to build an ecosystem where partners have to work together. So what we are starting to see is that what we are calling is partner to partner engagement, where we are seeing is that one partner may do advisory services, one partner may do the POC, and then one partner may do the transaction, and then another partner may do the consumption piece. So there could be like 2 or 3 different partners engaged in a mega deal of a couple of $1 million or so. So what we need to do is that we need to bring these partners together to provide the best customer experience, best partner experience to the customer. And we need the tools and we need the platform that partners can come together, provide the right expertise to what they are, but make sure that the customer doesn't see challenges and so forth. So we are starting to see a lot of that ecosystem deals, especially our multi-million-dollar deals, where we would need different partners. We're seeing some, because of SaaS and services, we're seeing some global partners who needs installation and who needs consumption in different parts of countries. So we need to maybe even bring like 10 or 12 different partners together to deploy all of their services across different countries and so forth. So that's the world that we're headed. We're just starting on this journey as Tracy-Ann talks about it, but I believe this hybrid world is going to be here to stay. And we want to make sure that these partners can work together to provide the best experience.
Awesome. So it's, double click a little bit more on the partner to partner aspect of things, Tracy-Ann, if you will. Sanjay brought up this interesting point that there's never one partner in a single deal. And you're seeing a lot more of that, especially with, Tanzu and a couple of other emotions. And also there is this interesting dynamic in the industry where, because of the hyperscalers, some of your transacting partners are working through the hyperscalers now. So you have 3 in the deal already. So talk about some of the transformations that you're driving with regard to partner to partner.
Yeah, I think that the first thing that I'll just level set on is that there is no deal that doesn't have, at least a minimum of 2 partners in it, right? So when we think about our entire customer, our customer success, the life cycle, we have to think about this in terms of multiple partners that again, as I said earlier, are driving value throughout the motion. So I'll just take one step back. Last year we invested in our Transact reseller programs, reseller investments, right? This year, with this whole recognition of customer lifecycle, we're now recognizing that it's not the same partners, right? The partners that are driving the sort of what I call kind of resale fulfillment are not the same partners that are going to now and go and drive POCs and assessment and deployment and consumption and build customer success practices for adoption. So this whole P2P motion becomes really important. And the accountability on us as a company is to build a community of partners who are actually building an ecosystem that can deliver customer value. So that to me is the number one priority, is what are we doing as a company to ensure that our partners are working together? And that's also why, we need to look at what does that operating model look like? You spoke about competition earlier on. Well, there is, and there will always be, and that is real, right? So how do we work? I mean, just, as an example, we're working with all of the hyperscalers. We're bringing our partners into our programs. They're also in the hyperscaler programs. We have to account for that, right? We have to make sure that we understand what those relationships look like, and then what is the value that we're bringing into our partner community to make sure that our partners have affinity with us. We're driving that predictable model. We're driving the profitability, and that really want to invest in VMware technology, VMware solutions, and quite frankly, the VMware customers and the VMware relationship. But here's the one thing that I'll just say. We have to also recognize two things. Partners have choice, right? So this P2P model becomes really important. If we recognize that, then we've got to be, okay, what does that engagement model look like? What does that partner experience look like? How do we make this very engaging, very intuitive? Back to the technology, because the technology is the enabler, right? We have to break that down and make sure that that is a very seamless experience for them. And then, I think if we do that, we then are going to be able to make sure that we've got the right partners, strategic, making the right investments, and they are the ones that have the trusted advisor relationships with our customers, right? So we automatically win from that. That is a win-win situation for our customers, for our partners, and for VMware.
Wow, so massive transformation. If you look at if I hear you right, the transformation is happening, you're blurring the lines across partner types. You're changing the incentive model, not just from rewarding transactions, but earlier assessments, POCs, but also later deployments and consumption, and connecting the beginning part with the sale as well as the renewal part by bringing all of them into a P2P cycle or a motion. So that these renewals can happen in a holistic ecosystem. So, wow, that's like ecosystem and incentive transformation at massive scale. It must not be easy though, because this affects so much. And there was one question in the poll earlier that there is internal, incentives and external incentives, and there must be some change management and resistance that you both must have faced as you came up with the idea, drove the idea, and now managing the idea. Give us some war stories of how it was.
Well, I'm going to just start off by saying we're both going gray. No, seriously. Look, it's really fun, is what I'll say first and foremost. It's really fun. There's no. It's hard, right? I mean, transformation is you've got a lot of grit. You've got to be very resilient, and you've got to be willing to carry very big boulders up the hill, both internally and externally, right? Because transformation requires that you bring the entire company along with you. And first and foremost, you've got to bring your executives along with you, right? You've got to make sure that you've got the right business case. I mean, we all know what's happening in the industry, right? The cloud and the acceleration and the pace is faster than any of our organizations can cope with, right?
Yep.
Which is why you know, Amit, I have very much when it comes to operating models and infrastructure models, I have a buy versus build mentality, because I don't believe inside of our own companies, we can build as fast as the pace of the industry, as fast as the pace of our customers, right? So for us, it's all about how do we ensure we've got our stakeholders? How do we ensure we're creating more cultural shift so we can change at that pace? Because really where it all comes down to, and Sanjay and I talk about this all the time, you can sell your idea at the executive level, but the rubber meets the road when you're able to really deliver on a partner experience that's completely unrivaled in the industry, right? Ensure your customers are delighted and your partners are happy and they're profitable, right? And that comes down to the execution. And the execution is all about the platform that they're enabled on. Do you have a proper commerce platform? What does that look like? Is it, what does the whole partner experience look like? Because we are consumers at the end of the day, and that's how our partners work with us, and that's how our customers want to work with us too, right? We have, we have 10 seconds of attention span most of the time. So we have to think like that in terms of putting this all together. So yeah, it's been hard. It's challenging. It's not easy, right? Both internally and externally. And I know, Sanjay, I don't know if you want to comment just even on the, neutrality pieces when you're thinking about compensation and sellers and partners.
Yeah.
No, absolutely, Tracy. And I think you said it very well. I think what I would just add additional comment to what Tracy-Ann said. By the way, we call her TAP. We don't use the whole word. So that's another tidbit I'll just tell you now. On LinkedIn, you can call her TAP. But with Tracy-Ann, I think she said it very well. But I also would add is that the channel is also doing their own transformation. There's a lot of merger and acquisitions are happening, because channel, what we see today will not be the channel in 5 years. It's changing because they have to change with the SaaS and subscription modeling we have. So we're seeing the transformation in the channel. We're also seeing a major transformation inside the VMware. And I think what I would say is that it's really nice that we have hired some in less than 1 year, some very senior execs like Sandy Hogan and so forth. And I think what we're all trying to do is that we are trying to share what is the partner value is at the highest level. And I believe VMware execs are starting to understand the partner value. And I think that's very critical, the alignment of the partner value, and then aligning to what partners can do for us and cannot do for us. And that, I think, the transformation that we are doing right now, I believe we are well aligned now inside. Of course, there are challenges every day, but our execs are very well aligned. Now we are going to go out and align our partners. And I think we're going to start this new transformation, which is around building the SaaS and services practices, but it's the profitability, how you compensate their reps and our reps. It's going to be very different. And we will love to have that kind of an interaction with this ecosystem of folks coming on the call, because I think the next 5 years, it's going to be very different from what we have seen in the last 5 years. So that's just the additional things I would make. That VMware has spent a lot of time, and I give a lot of credits to our folks who are just recently got hired, very senior execs, aligning internal folks on the partner value.
Mm-hmm. And key to this, you talked about this, is nailing the partner support. So talk a little bit about this. How are you supporting the partners through this accelerated pace of change, Sanjay and Tracy?
Well, I will let me just start here is that, and then I definitely want to have Tracy-Ann tap to chime in. So I think that, so the time to accelerate, time to market is much faster. We used to take a year or so to launch new things, launch new incentives, launch new programs, launch whatever that is. It's usually about 6 to 12 months or so. We have compressed that down to 3 months, maybe max 4 months. So we are now trying to launch things within 3 months, maximum 4 months or so. So this whole incentive things that we are launching, it's compressed to 3 months or so. To do that, we have to make very difficult decisions. Do you build or you buy? And that's how we start working with WorkSpan, that's how we're starting to work with some other vendors, because of time to market is becoming very, very critical. But while we're doing this buy and build concept, but we don't want to compromise on the partner experience. Partners should not care what's happening in the operating theater. You know, we can do whatever we want to do. Partner wants to have the same experience or better experience what they had yesterday. So we got to make sure that we are the best in the partner experience, but the time to market is now 3 months rather than 6 months or 12 months. Tracy-Ann, anything from your side?
Yeah, I'll just actually share this journey that Sanjay and I have just gone on, because I think it'll be interesting for this audience. So when we decided that we were going to go down this journey to completely revolutionize our customer lifecycle incentives, we have done over 80 internal and external stakeholder feedback loops, right? Now, as Sanjay said, you know, this is a 3 to 4 month acceleration process. And within there, we knew we had to get this right? Certainly it's iterative, but coming out of the gate, we knew like we need to make sure that our partners are front and center. So within that, that's what we went ahead and did. We worked with a consulting organization to come in and say, okay, what does this look like? Let's get all those internal, you know, stakeholder feedback, external, all of our partners from all different kinds of business models all over the world, and say, what does this look like? And then through that, you know, we've then gone and developed our customer lifecycle incentives, right? And as Sanjay mentioned, you know, we launched February, March. We're going to iterate. We're doing another second half. We'll do more. We'll keep going. But it's been really, really difficult to bring, right, our organization along with that too, because there are systems and tools and technologies that have to be available for us to be able to actually orchestrate and operationalize, as you know. So it's been phenomenal, you know, to be part of this, and we've certainly got some scars and some wounds, you know, but it's been fantastic to know that our partners and our customers are really front and center as we've gone through the motion.
Absolutely. And I'll just end with this one last you know, thing around WorkSpan and VMware. Talk to the audience about, you know, driving this change with WorkSpan. What has it meant for you in terms of agility and pace, but also in terms of the experience? And then we'll open it up to the audience for questions. Well,
I'll start by saying Sanjay has been off my back, because he's now been able to deliver on customer lifecycle incentives. I mean, that's a joke. No, seriously, you know, for us, when we think about what we really wanted to accomplish, Amit, and I know we went through, you know, a round of demos and things, P2P was really important for us. That was really important. I mean, it's very strategic. Our partners are very strategic to what we're trying to drive from a cloud perspective. And we needed to make sure that we were partnering with an organization that would work with us, but also be able to drive those value motions that we really need to develop that ecosystem. So that certainly has been key for us. I think that the other thing is, when you're going down this journey, you've got to have partners that you can rely on and understand the transformation you're going through, and also be willing to put in the investment of time, energy, and resource that's required to meet those kinds of deadlines, right? And I've done Salesforce implementations. I've done a lot of different implementations. You don't always get that, right? And so that is really key for us, is when we think about our partnerships need to be an extension of our teams, and we need to make sure that they are valuable and that we're going to be able to drive that transformation together.
Awesome. Sanjay, any closing words from your side?
I think Tracy-Ann said it very well. I would just say, I think our relationship has been really, really awesome. The time we signed the contract, we've been working with you guys for a long time, but on this new lifecycle incentives, we signed the contract late December, and the only reason we signed the contract because we needed to launch it by early March, and you guys delivered. So I would just say that you guys have been a great partner. It's never easy. So I just wanted to acknowledge in front of everybody that you guys definitely delivered. Of course, we have a lot of work to do, of course, because partner experience should be the best always. And we're doing a great job, and you guys are helping us continue to deliver the partner experience. But you guys have been a great partners. We could not have done it. We could not have done this launch, and Tracy-Ann and folks inside the VMware knows, without you guys coming and helping us out and launching this thing on your platform, especially P2P, especially POC also. And I think we're launching some more incentives down the road. So again, thank you to you guys. And it's been a great partnership, and we have a lot more to do.
Awesome. Awesome. So assessments, POCs, partner records, deployments, renewals, partner to partner, a lot changing in the VMware ecosystem. Modernizing it in a new way with partner experience. And this is a journey, as Sanjay and TAP, if I can call you that, has shared. And they certainly have the battle scars to prove it. So Chip, I want to open it up to questions from the audience, and let's take it away.
Yeah, awesome session, guys. Really, really appreciate it. And we do have a couple of questions. So one is from Stefan Hewer, who says, can you please share some concrete, tangible examples of incentives based on outcomes versus partner types?
So let me take that one. So outcomes are like assessments. So we are building an incentive around assessments and POCs. And what we're going to do is that it's pretty much open to all partners. As long as they have the competencies, it's open to any partner. It's open to Accenture's, Deloitte's, to a very small partner in a small country or so. So any partner can now do those assessments and POCs as long as they have the right training, right competencies, and so forth. In the past, we would not have done that. In the past, we would have allowed that incentive only to a certain partner type. Like you have to be a principal partner, or you have to be a gold partner, very high tier, but now it's open to everybody or so. So that's what I mean by as an example of going from partner type to an outcome based or so. And I can spend more time on some other examples or so.
Great, great. We have a few questions, so we'll keep going. Another question. This one is from Neil Bleckerman again. So Tracy-Ann and Sanjay, you both are painting a picture that requires partners to work together and provide customer value. Yes. How do you determine a partner ROI to determine where to allocate your resources to drive this? Do you manage this partner mix as a team? Do some partners get more of the resources than others?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
So we do have within our program structure, tiered program modeling. So that's number one. And based on a partner's level of tiering, they would certainly receive, more benefits, right? More incentive benefits, and then they would also receive more strategic benefits as well, right? So things like, if you can imagine, customer advisory boards with partner advisory boards, executive sponsor programs. We have a strategic program where we do actually do joint business planning. I think I heard Mike talk about that too. So we've got joint business planning, and we base that on performance metrics, right? We put KPI metrics in place. We put performance metrics in place. We're measuring that on a quarterly basis. We're working with our field as well as our partner ecosystem to really, are you delivering, and what does this look like?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and only thing I would add to what Tracy is saying is that also we want to make sure that partners, also investing back into VMware. They invest $1 with us. We want to invest $5 back with them. So it's very key that they're investing us and we're investing in them. And investments comes in technical training. The funded head, somebody talked about it. Are they well trained on VMware practices on 5 franchises or so? And then, those are the kind of things that we look for ROI. ROI is now gone broader than just booking. ROI is now, again, I go back to my broken record, is the life cycle. Where are you driving it? But whatever you drive and whatever engagement you do, you have to be the best. and we can measure that. And we want to make sure that our committed partners are investing back with us so we can grow together or so. So that's the kind of ROIs we are looking at.
Nice.
Beautiful, beautiful, great.
Hey, Chip, Andrew asked a question earlier, which was about, are there any consumption or consumption incentives or programmatics that you're driving or driving programmatically?
Talking from an incentive, just a programmatic perspective?
Yeah, how you're helping drive consumption or incentivizing consumption?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit more.
So the way we have done it is that because we want to talk about, right now we're in transacting with a lot of our transacting partners of the past, but we believe the future is with a lot of the services partners. Services partners may or may not want to do the transaction. So the way we are doing consumption is that what we call partner of record. So what we do is that we have a form that is on WorkSpan or internally. A partner fills up the form called partner of record. We get the agreement with the customer saying, yes, the partner did deploy those services into my house. And if the answer is yes, we will pay that partner the incentive. So partner does not have to be a transacting partner. Partner can be a services partner, but as long as they have the right competencies and training, we are opening this up to a lot of the services partners who are very good in deploying technologies or so. So we're using this process of partner of record, which is verified by the customers and so forth.
Awesome. Well, such an engaging discussion. I wanted to thank TAP, yourself, and Sanjay for sharing the transformation that you're driving at VMware. Wish you the best ahead. And thank you for engaging so much with us.
Amit, thank you so much for having us. It's been wonderful. Thank you. And thank you, Chip.
Yeah, Chip, thank you so much. Thank you, Amit. Thanks, everybody.